Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Janine, and it is so good to be back with another video because I love hopping on here and speaking to you. So, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to tune in. I do appreciate that so much. So, today I want to speak about the importance of not just feeling our admiration toward others, but also expressing that admiration in whichever way you choose to express your admiration. And I'm going to preface this particular talk or discussion, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to preface that with a little story time. Now, yesterday morning, I woke up and I began thinking about somebody that I haven't spoken to in about 3 to 4 years. And while I was thinking about this person, I was also observing the ways in which I truly admire this person. I admire this person's characteristics, this person's traits, the way this person shows up in particular areas of their life. And everybody can be a role model to us because they inspire certain aspects of us. So I also realized that, hey, this person is sort of like also one of my many role models out there. And then I realized that I never actually ever told this person how much I admire them. And I just had this sudden urge to contact this person and to just check in and to also simultaneously just tell this person how much I admire them, how much I appreciate what they are doing out there. And because I never had this person on my contact list, I had to go onto my socials and I realized that this person was still on one of my social media accounts. And I just sent this person a message and I was like, hey, I was thinking about you. I just want to know, how are you doing? How is your kid doing? I hope you guys are doing well, and so forth. And immediately I got a response, and the person was like, oh, thank you so much for thinking about me and for thinking about my child. We are doing so well. And then we exchanged numbers. And when we started chatting, I basically just let it all out. And I was like, hey, I just want to tell you that this is what I admire about you. And, as you know, I just started speaking. And wow, it was such a beautiful moment. Guys, there are so many people out there in your life, in my life, that know that we admire them in certain ways, that we admire certain traits and certain characteristics about them. They may know this, and we may also know that there are certain things about us that other people admire. But the big question is, are we actually expressing our admiration? Are we actually telling people how we feel? Because just feeling that admiration is not enough. We need to really go out there and tell people exactly what it is that we admire about them, because you have no idea how much somebody needs to know that they are doing a good job. And I didn't want to mention this, but hey, let me just continue. If you believe in the idea that there are many dimensions in this universe and you have actually experienced that subjectively, you will know that other forms of energies, they don't use language to communicate. They communicate through the presence and through making us feel a certain type of way. But as human beings on this earthly plane, we have language at our disposal. We have language as a tool and a resource. And when I say language, I don't mean like English, French, um, Portuguese. I'm not speaking about language in that sense. I'm speaking about words. We have words and the capacity to use our verbal tone, our voices to impart messages. And I created a video not too long ago about the ways in which language wants to be used for its highest good. And you need to be asking yourself, in what ways are you actually using language on a day to day basis? Are you simply just using language to say the things that you are required to routinely say? Or are you actually using language for its greatest good? And one of the ways in which we can use language for its greatest good is to actually go up to people in our lives. It doesn't matter how close we are or how distant we may be, and actually tell those people how we really feel about them. Because most often people need to know what is great about them. Yes, people may know what is great about them, but they need that reminder because so often it is easy to forget what our strengths are. It is easy to forget what we are good at. It is easy to forget about our amazing qualities that we have. And therefore, it is always important to remind people of their greatness. And in turn, you will too be reminded of your greatness. And that is how we use language for its greatest good. Is when we choose to not just feel admiration and to keep that admiration to ourselves when it comes to other people, but when we can also take measures to express that admiration, to actually let people know exactly how we feel about them. And I feel like this is such a timely message because now more than ever, we need connection. But as we know, connection falls on a spectrum. You can see people every single day and spend time with people every day. But the question is, what is the actual quality of that connection? And we are called now more than ever to deepen the qualities of our connections. This is no longer a time for us to just have these shallow conversations with each other or to just speak about the weather. We are called to have these deeper connections in the sense of actually speaking life into each other, actually telling people how we feel. And I know that this may be very uncomfortable at first. And I speak of firsthand experience when it comes to this discomfort of actually expressing more than what I would have liked to express. It's really uncomfortable to be vulnerable, to tell people how you feel about them because we are living in a world where authenticity is sort of like frowned upon. People are very suspicious of authenticity. When you give somebody a compliment, or even when you tell somebody about how great somebody else is, there is this sort of suspicion, especially when you are uplifting somebody of the opposite gender. It's like, oh my word, why are you talking so highly about this person? Do you have a crush on this person? What is going on? So, this is why vulnerability and actually expressing our admiration toward people can be quite uncomfortable. It can be quite difficult to do because it is, as I said, frowned upon. There is a lot of suspicion around that because we are not living in a society where it is the norm to just compliment each other, to just speak life into each other, because we always second guess ourselves. We're always out here thinking, well, what would it mean to that person if I say something great to him or her? What would it mean to that person if I compliment that person? But I am at the stage of my life where I really don't care. And I know that sounds blunt, but I really don't care about how my compliments are being received. If I see something great in somebody, I'm going to speak on that. And yes, people are allowed to interpret that in whichever way they want to. Because at the end of the day, people are always going to add meaning to what you are saying through the lens of their own filter, through the lens of their own worldview. And that is fine. All you need to do is you need to show up in your authenticity, speak your truth, and when the energy behind your truth is pure and there are only good intentions involved, then your message, your communicative event, the ways in which you express your admiration will be received in the ways in which you intend for your admiration to be understood and received. So today, I want you to think about the people in your life, even people that you haven't spoken to for many, many, many years. If you observe that you admire them in certain ways, or they have inspired you in certain ways, do not hold back on trying or wanting to express that. Because a lot of times the ego gets in the way. This is why so many people have a hard time complimenting each other. This is why you are the one that's not getting the likes, the one that's not getting the compliments. It's because, yeah, sometimes it's just you. And that's because a lot of people are clouded by the ego. It's like, well, I don't want to bolster this person by saying something good to him or her. So we need to transcend the egoic ways that stops us from really tapping in to how we feel about people and expressing how we feel and just get out there and show people the love that they so rightfully deserve. I always say, give someone their flowers. And I love that because people need to know what is great about them. And you too need to know what is great about you. So don't be surprised if you start getting those compliments, if you start getting those phone calls and people are like, hey, I just called to say, I miss you. I just called to say that I love you. I just want to remind you that this is what is great about you. Don't be surprised when the conversation starts to change, when the connections start to change for the better, when things become more deeper. Don't be surprised because we are entering into such a beautiful timeline collectively where connections are deepening and people are no longer just wearing their heart on their sleeves in a careless way, but they're really opening up their hearts to the next person. And this is such a beautiful time now that we are stepping into, and I'm ready for it. Okay. So I'm going to leave this message right here. Thank you so much for sticking around. Just for a bit of formality talk, I just want to say that if you've not done so already, then please do subscribe to this YouTube channel, show it some love, and also don't hesitate to refer this channel or this video to whoever you think might need to see it. Okay. But right now, I'm sending you so much love and so much virtual hugs. Until next time, much love. Have a great day further.